Welcome home. Welcome to Coming Home with Mama T. I'm your host, Tiara, aka Mama T, and on this podcast, we explore the journey of creating the life of our desires through mastering manifestation, maintaining a positive mindset, and living luxuriously. Today, I want to talk to you about the concept of feeling unseen. Have you ever felt unseen? Like you're going through this life and everyone around you is getting attention. Everyone around you is getting the love and support and everything that they need. But you are just out here in the ethers being ignored, feeling invaluable to those around you. I know I have. And I really want us to lean into this mindset of when we feel unseen, how can we see ourselves more? I'm finding more and more as I dive into loving myself deeply that these moments that pop up for me where I am triggered often stem from feeling unseen, feeling this need to be responsible. But the reason that I want to be responsible isn't for responsibility's sake, for leadership's sake, but actually from a place of, look at me, pay attention to me, love me. Yes. For example, I was having an event and we were at this event and everyone left. At least it felt like everybody had left and no one said anything to me about it. So I was looking one direction and then I looked and everybody was gone. And I was like, where'd everybody go? No one's answering their phone. What's happening? And in that moment, I was super triggered. I am unseen. I am unimportant. Why are people doing this to me? And I put the blame on someone else. And that was not the best choice. I understand that my inner little baby goddess was just like no one loves me. And, when alcohol's involved, we may shift and shape our consciousness a little bit. And so with that, I know that I reacted in a way that was not a response-able response, meaning that I have the ability to respond in such an amazing and authoritative and wonderful way. And authoritative is not the right word, a place of sovereignty. There it is. I can respond from a place of sovereignty, and I allowed my triggered self to speak up, and that's totally fine. We're human. We're here having a human experience, but looking back at it, and as I look at it, it's not why did that person do this? Why da 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 da? This person doesn't care. This person da 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 da. No. I look at it from, okay, I see this. I love myself. Why did I respond that way? What can I learn from this situation? I learned that, okay, I was triggered because I felt unseen. But am I really being unseen in that moment? Maybe that person didn't put me first, but we're all living our own movies, if you think about it, right? We're all living our own individual lives. The people around you are not NPCs. They're not non-playing characters that you get to shift and change and interact with when you choose to, and they can't do the vice versa. Nope. We all are the main characters of our own story, of our own video game, of our own whatever. So guess what? In my script, this is what this was supposed to happen. What was supposed to happen is if someone was shifting what we were doing, they were going to speak up to me. But in that person's script, their script was, oh, I need to go respond to something else really quickly and come back. And everybody else just chose to follow. And that's okay. That is okay. And I learned that, oh, okay, well, this is still within me. This feeling unseen. How can I see myself more? How can I love myself more? I recognize that in the moment I was trying to take on this responsibility not because I wanted to be responsible, not because I felt like I needed to be responsible, needed to be like super cool, awesome sauce hostess, whatever, so that people would love me rather than just freaking enjoying myself, right? Like, let it all be, let it all show up, let it all have fun. I don't know. I was in this like headspace, and that's okay. I love myself through it. I understand where it's coming from, and I can like let it go. I felt unseen. And why did I feel unseen? Because I wasn't seeing myself, honestly. Honestly, I was looking for other people to validate my experience and tell me how great I am at hosting and bringing people together and da 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 da. And that totally ties into my business because, I mean, that's what I do in my business. So why aren't these people celebrating me and seeing me? And why are they care about other people and da 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 and not even like engaging with me? This is what I do. So I feel invalidated, right? Well, we all feel invalidated because we have beliefs. And when an experience shows up that does not connect, does not align with what our belief is, that invalidates our belief, right? If we're like, the sky is always blue, and then a rain cloud shows up, then all of a sudden we're wrong. Oh my goodness, we cannot be wrong in this world. We cannot make mistakes. We have to, no, the sky is still blue. We have to rationalize. There's just a cloud in the sky that blah, 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 but behind the sky, it is blue. Behind the cloud, the sky is blue, right? We have to figure out ways to work around the thing that invalidates what our belief is. Otherwise, we are wrong, or we have to change our belief. It's okay. Being wrong, there's no good or bad to it. I think in school, they kind of teach you, like, they put a big red X on your paper or whatever color that the pen is or whatever. Red is definitely the one that always comes to mind. There's a big red X, and it's bad because you get bad grades when you get things wrong. So we learn at a young age that it's not okay to be wrong. We have to validate everything that we do. And it's not we're learning situation. We're no longer exploring anymore as we become adults. But that's life, right? Life doesn't end when we get like that nice little diploma or whatever certification. Even if you don't get one, life does not end until your life actually ends. So this is a lifelong journey of learning and exploring and finding if we choose it. We can stay stuck and rigid in our beliefs and making sure that every experience validates the belief that we're having and hold on tightly to it. You'll notice if you're holding on tight to things because you'll feel tension in your body. You'll start building up arthritis and things like that. Reasons why people age differently. It all has to do with that heart center, their belief structures, and all of that. So when we feel unseen by others, we are not seeing ourselves and the reality that we're actually in. We're not loving ourselves as deeply as we could. We might be tapping back to old patterns. For me, that moment was tapping back into an old pattern of I must do, lead, take care of everybody in order for everybody to recognize me, see me, and love me. That was an old pattern that came up. And I recognize it. And I know that now in the future, I can, acknowledge it and be like, nope, we're not going to step back. It's practice, right? We can set the intention, but the intention does not just sit there, right? We are faced with situations that help us to remember our intention and own up to that intention. So that's all it was. It was just like, oh, all right, well, I set this intention to be great and wonderful and amazing and loved and da 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 da. And I chose to step out of myself for a second. Rather, it was completely unconscious. But in order for us to have these things be a unconscious behavior, meaning our intentions and the embodiment of the version of ourselves that we truly want to be become an unconscious behavior, we have to practice in the conscious enough for it to become unconscious. Does that make sense? Let me dive a little bit deeper. So with that, if we are looking to set an intention that money shows up for me easily and effortlessly, then we have to look around for ways that money are showing up for us and not invalidate it, right? Money is all one frequency. So if you find a penny on the ground, like, oh my gosh, you're right. Money shows up for me easily and effortlessly. Pick it up. Pick it up. Next thing you know, it might even be a bigger denomination. I have recognized this in my life. When I pick up that penny and I'm like, ooh, thank you. That's wonderful. Next thing you know, like I will find, literally, no lie, a couple weeks ago, I was somewhere and I was walking around and there was a penny on the ground. And I was like, thank you. I can't wait to see when this is like $1 million, when I can just pick up $1 million, right? And I was like, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is amazing. And then later that day, like same day, I'm in the car, I opened the door and I looked down and there is like nickels like all over the ground. And I was like, what? Where did all these nickels come from? You know, like I've up leveled from pennies to nickels and there's a lot of them. Like, ooh, like what if this was all $1 million? Like this is 5 million, this is 10 million. And I'm picking it up with joy and laughter. And I put it in my purse and I'm like, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes. And that upholds the money shows up for me easily and effortlessly. Is it $1 million? No, I understand. It's not, but it's frequency, it's energy. And when we hold the energy of, yes, this is validation. Yes, this is fun. Yes, we just have to like experience. We have to practice. Keep holding that practice. Keep holding that energy, that gratitude, that fun. Keep playing the game that is life, but not like the board game life. I think that game's awful. No, I've probably only played it once in my life, but that's because I live life, right? Rather than play life. But we are in this life that we are living. If we look at it like, hey, how do I play more? How do I experience in a more fun way? We can bring in so much more and experience in a more loving way, loving for ourselves, loving for the world around us. Looking for facts rather than opinions, because the money thing, it's all like, it's an opinion, right? I can say money shows up easily and effortlessly for me. Meanwhile, someone sitting right next to me could be like, money is hard. Money, it is, you have to earn it. And you have to work hard to get anywhere. And like money doesn't grow on trees. Money, and then if you're a woman, you don't make that much money. Like you can keep saying these things. And the more you say them, it feels like a fact to you. And then when it feels like a fact, it becomes a belief. But how long does it take for it to really take hold? You know, I find that one of my gifts is that I can shift my beliefs really, really easily. And it's especially easier for me when it comes from a person of authority. When I look back at like my life and my childhood, my response to someone telling me something as if it were a fact was like, oh, yes, of course. I never really questioned anybody else. And there were things like I take it as fact and it's now in my system and now I believe it and whatever. And that can be a good or a bad thing. It could be, I can consider it a good or a bad thing. It is what it is. This is just what I know about myself and what I notice about myself. So the things that people might have told me that I chose to believe might not been for my greatest and highest good. And now as an adult, I can have my conscious mind and be like, oh, that's still there. I don't want that belief anymore. And then I get to put into practice not believing in that and believing in something else until it becomes an unconscious experience where I don't even, like, if something triggers, I respond in a way that is in alignment with what the new belief is rather than what the old one is. And that is what the home membership is about, right? The ability and the safe and sacred space to really practice upholding our intentions, upholding those new beliefs. That's what it's really about. Like, we're leaning into loving ourselves. We're leaning into creating the life of our desires. And we got to start with our energy first. Within first. A lot of times people are like, well, once this person changes, I'll do this. Once my job changes, I'll do this. Once this happens, I'll do this. And we're all looking outside of ourselves. It's not the outside that matters. So it's on the inside. I feel like that's like like kindergarten. It's what's on the inside that matters. Yes, it's true. 100%. We're talking about, like back then when I used to hear that, it was always about someone's physical appearance. It's not what's on the outside, it's what's on the inside. Judging a book by its cover, all of these things. We talked about it and how to be like a good person on like a surface level as a child, but we didn't really dive that deep. But that's really like, we work from the inside out. And if you're ready to put in that inside work, if you're ready to hold yourself radically responsible for how you move in this world so that you can experience and manifest what it is that you desire, come home. Join the home membership. Yes, we are relaunching. I don't know, by the time this airs, it's probably, the launch is probably already over, but it's time. The time is now to really take responsibility for our energy, to put into practice. And there is no shaming ourselves. There's no criticizing ourselves when we step out of alignment with what it is that we desire, what our intention is. It's just a practice and recognizing that, right? We got to recognize when we don't back ourselves up and then pull ourselves back. And so me as the facilitator of the home membership, I'm here to maybe call you out if I see that maybe you go live in the group and you're sharing your experience and I hear the words that you are probably unconsciously saying. I can point out those moments because it's good to have someone, it's good to have a community who knows what your intentions are and will lovingly point it out. It's not criticism, it's love, right? Coming from a place of love, like, hey, I heard you wanted this. Does da-da-da-da-da that you said, I heard you say da-da-da-da-da. Does that match? Do you feel like those energetically match? Yes, no, maybe so. All right, cool. Let's keep working. Let's keep going. Let's keep growing. Because the space is not just for you to grow, it's for me to grow. We're growing together, and I'm really excited about it. So I invite you, if you have questions, you can go to my website, www.MamaTEnergy.com, and book a call with me, and we can have a call. You can shoot me a message, all that good stuff. And with that, reminder to like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.